and Jeff, Tim mentions the defense. How much of that is a concern for you based on what you've seen?
It's a concern. I won't go into major because with the Tibbs teams in the Knicks era, we've given them 20 games. You see that after 20 games, Tibbs figures out what's the blips versus what's the trends, and then starts to make his adjustments. I do think if you told me that Mikal Bridges was going to be one of the problems on defense, I would have lost a lot of money. I'd have lost a whole lot of money on that bet, right? But this is one of those things where if you look at numbers and you feel like there's going to be regression, if he regresses back to the mean, which is an above average defender, that may clean up a lot of the defensive missteps that you see them going through. A lot of it is also, it's funny, Tim mentioned that we have an embarrassment of riches on offense. I mean, OG Anunoby right now, he's morphed into ultimate universe, alternate reality, British Kawhi Leonard, right? On offense. If you told me he was going to be the third option, he actually looks like the third option that they traded 4 first-round picks and a pick swap for. Mm-hmm. This is what he's rounding into. 27 years old, stepping into his prime. And shout out to the new medical staff that the Knicks have hired, because he looks fresh. Yes, I gasp and spit the rosary every time he hits the ground. But this is a guy who, if he can develop right now, if he was to just remain average, doesn't go too high, doesn't go too low, do what he's doing right now, he would have, per StatHead Basketball Reference, he would be having a regular season on par with 3 Steph Curry seasons, including the unanimous MVP season, because, of course, and Ray Allen, which is more comparable due to his 3-point attempts. So I look at, these are guys that have the IQ where you put them on the court and they just run plays. If you ever play pickup ball and 5 guys who don't know each other all of a sudden start running like they're the 96 Bulls, you wonder, how did that happen? That's the type of IQ they have. We need to see that IQ, a few of those IQ points, not a lot, just a little bit. Get it on the defensive end, clean up your rotations and do all of that. And if they can get to average, now you're talking about a shootout. Tim, with the New York Knicks, you're getting into a shootout with the New York Knicks. These aren't your father's Knicks. These might be your grandfather's Knicks, because I know they were scoring a lot of points in the 60s and 70s. So this is a change for the modern Knicks fan to see. And I'm not going to lie, I love rooting for offense, especially when it's my team. I haven't gotten a chance to experience this ever as a Knicks fan, this type of beautiful game offense. I like what I'm seeing. So I just need them to adjust the defense to get it to respectable levels.
You think Tibbs loves coaching shootouts? You think Tibbs is like, oh, this is great, man. Woo, games in the 120s, 130s, 140s. and you nailed it with Bridges, though. You give up 5 first-round picks for Bridges, not because you think he's going to be an awesome offensive player. You think he's going to be better than he's been to this point. But, hey, as a third option, a fourth option, he's a really good offensive player throughout the course of his career. But you're trading for Bridges because, forget about above average, this is a guy who's been in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. You're trading for him to pair with OG Anunoby and give you, what should be the best wing tandem on the defensive end of the floor in the entire NBA. And then you can protect Brunson. Once you trade for Cat, you can kind of mask some of his deficiencies. So, whether Bridges' jumper gets ironed out or whatever the case may be, we'll see what happens there. The expectation is that he is an absolute elite defensive player, and that's not asking too much. We've seen it throughout the course of his career.